Alright everyone, we were doing an interview with my good friend Kevin Kerr of Flesh Mechanics, and just to make a quick statement, two things. Number one, I did not take any pre-workout supplement, but I did spray Tough Actin Tenactin on after the shower. Alright, here's Luke. He's getting tatted. You might hear him say ouch or ow. So we got Kevin here. Kev, give us a brief where you came up with the name of the business, how long you've been in business, and just a quick background.
Well, I've been tattooing for close to 20 years now. I apprenticed at a shop out in Butler, and then worked at a couple different places out there. I've been in business here for 13 years now. Actually, it'll be 13 on June 1st, which is a month away.
Nice.
And the name of the shop actually came from an old, terrible Keanu Reeves movie called Johnny Mnemonic.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I stole the name out of there.
Nice. I didn't know that. Yeah. Learn something every day.
Yeah.
Luke, you alright down there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, he's good, everyone, okay? Alright, great. So what made you start your own business?
I had wanted to start a business pretty much from the time I learned to tattoo. It was always my original intention. I never had an intention of working for someone for very long. Even during my apprenticeship, I knew that my one goal was to open my own shop. There was never a question as to when it was going to happen, or if it was going to happen. There was only the question of when. So I stuck out my entire apprenticeship and then working for someone else until I could put together the funds and be in a stable position in my life as far as marriage and, having everything, all my ducks in a row to at least kind of run in and get it started.
Nice. From the time you started tattooing after your apprenticeship to the time you opened your business, how long of a span was that? A couple years?
6 or 7 years. But a standard apprenticeship can be 2.5 to 3 years, and then generally you work for the person that you apprentice under for at least 4. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you don't just apprentice and then run out and start your own business. You generally have to give the person you work for. The standard is usually about 6 years at this point.
After your apprenticeship?
Well, combined.
Combined?
So it's generally about a 6-year kind of a thing. There's I don't do it with my apprentices. There's nothing set in stone. There's nothing written.
Yeah.
There's no. But that's not to say that other people don't. Plenty of other shops do. Plenty of other businesses require everything written down and all that.
Does that just help keep their employees then?
Well, yeah.
Kind of like okay.
You don't want to invest all your time teaching someone to draw for a tattoo, and then to tattoo, and then they do all their bad tattoos at your place, and then as soon as they start to get good, go and open their own business. That doesn't do you any good as a business owner or somebody doing an apprenticeship.
Then you're back to square one, huh?
Then you're back to square one, trying to find somebody who's doing, apprentice type of work, which can be good, but it's usually hit or miss, at least for a certain 6 months to a year period. So you don't want to be stuck, trying to make up for all the apprentice tattoos that somebody does over and over. Ideally you apprentice somebody to keep them for as many years as possible. I would love to keep my guys for 10, 12 years at those days. That's my ultimate goal. So I try to treat everybody as fairly as I can.
I remember one time you were telling me about, you first opened up down here, and I remember, the story about, I think it was something about their first night here, how much you made money your first night, or, do you remember that story?
The day before I opened, yeah, I was so broke, the day before I actually opened up, I had to roll the quarters that I had in my Polar water jug to pay my electric bill so that I could be open on my very first day.
Wow.
And then we opened up and made $700 that day.
$700 a day. So when you opened up this building, you started in here, right?
Yes.
Did you buy the building or were you renting it?
No, I own the building. I was in the process of buying it whenever we were getting ready to open. It was kind of like we sort of financed it through the owner for the first year and a half that we were in.
Okay.
And then we turned around and did all the formal paperwork after a year and a half.
So above this, and the only reason I know is because I used to live above here, but when you first moved in, what was upstairs? What did you do to it? How did it help your business? Was it
there's an apartment up there now, and there has always been an apartment up there. But the apartment when we first moved in was in really, really bad shape, and it was all the old plaster and lap and everything. So basically, after we got the shop open and up and running, and we started making a little bit of money, we started dumping everything we could into refurbishing the apartment. So we stripped it down, completely remodeled it ourselves, doing, you know, the majority of the work myself, and with, you know, whatever hired hands or people that would trade for some work or whatever I could get done, you know, traded for some drywall and so on and so forth. But any way that I could get that done, and then until eventually I had the apartment that I wanted to live in. I lived there for another 4 or 5 years until I bought a house.
Nice. When you first started your business, you know, when people start business, you know, the goal is to build a team around them, because, you know, as time goes, you go from being single to married to having kids, and you can't spend every single second down here, or you won't have that time, you know, with your family. So when you first started your business, how many hours were you working? How many days a week compared to like now? Just give us a brief history of that.
I would say that I work now as much as I used to, if not more. But probably roughly 50 to 60 hours, depending on exactly when it is that we're talking about. You know, there's certain periods where I, you know, like in the summer I take a little more vacation, but right now I'm in the middle of a big remodeling project. So for the last 3 months I've been down here every day on my day off, working for 7 or 8 hours a day, and then coming in before I work, coming in after I work, you know, just tightening little things up, doing this, doing that. You know, once my remodeling project is done, then I'll be taking a little more time off and trying to spend some time with the family. So, but there's also periods like when my kids were first born that I worked probably a lot less than I do now, because I was spending more time at home with the kids and the wife, and, you know, especially with my son, because my wife was in nursing school, so we were building her career at that time, and I did a lot of the primary child care at that point, which was fantastic.
Yeah, right. So during that time that your wife was in nursing school, you were able to still run a business. You weren't there, but it was, things were getting done.
Upstairs.
Right. So you were, right.
So literally I would be working in the back room, and I would run upstairs and feed my son a bottle while my wife was studying, come back down and work some more, run upstairs and change a diaper, come back down and work some more. So my life was like that for about 2 years while she was in school.
Nice. So obviously there's, you know, tattooing has become very popular. You know, how have you separated yourself from the competition? What do you recommend that people do when they start, and things to avoid when you're dealing with your competition?
Well, the thing that I try to do, and I try to make sure that, especially with my younger guys, a big thing is, you know, you don't want to get into a habit of talking smack or degrading the other shops or the other competition in the area, and especially not the quality. You know, if there's a really quality competitor out there, it doesn't do you any good to talk smack or, you know, talk about how bad they are or things they do wrong. It's better to highlight what they're doing right, because, you know, I live by the opinion that a rising tide lifts all boats. So, you know, if everybody just stood around talking smack, then all you have is a bunch of tattoo shops that are failing because nobody trusts anybody.
Right.
But if it's more of an environment where people know that they can go somewhere and get a quality tattoo, and maybe they don't do what we do or anything like that, you know, they still want to believe that there's quality shops out there, and you don't have to go to Pittsburgh, or you don't have to go somewhere else. You know, that you can get good work wherever you are, as long as you do your research. I mean, and that's the one thing is, you know, as long as you're researching what you're getting, it's like any other thing. You're not going to go out and buy a car without test driving it. You know, so if you're going to go buy a tattoo, why just walk into the first place? You know, look on Instagram, look on Facebook, look at their portfolios, you know, and don't look for the tattoo you want. If you want your, you know, grandma's name, then it's not going to be on there. Or if you want your baby's footprint, it's not going to be on there. But there might be something similar, or there might be, you know, the quality of work is actually what you're looking for. You're not looking for the tattoo that you want, but the quality of the artist that you intend to go to. But as far as competition goes, I mean, there's always going to be competition. The only way to go about it is to be fair. You don't want them talking smack on you, and you don't want them, you know, them saying bad stuff to your customers. So return the favor, be an adult, be a grown-up, You know, you don't get ahead by trashing everybody else.
I like it.
Your work speak for yourself. Your work speak for itself.
Nice. Speaking of just, you know, today you have so many things like social media. What do you use with social media? I mean, do you use...
I use Facebook and Instagram. Instagram's great for this business because, you know, it's a picture forum, so...
Right.
Basically, all you gotta do is post your pictures. You don't have to say too much. You're not really... You know, because I'm not really one to get on and talk about me or anything like that.
Right.
You know, on Facebook, I post a few personal items, but for the most part, it's just all about the business, too.
Like today I posted an awesome picture of you squatting to everybody in the Instagram world and basically was returning the favor of pain.
Right. They're all so happy to see me doing squats. I love squats.
Shit. What keeps you motivated to, you know, it's going on 13 years of running this business.
Greed. Pure greed.
American greed.
Right.
The green.
My wife's expensive.
Yeah. Christmas. I just work for Christmas.
You know what? What keeps me motivated is the fact that, I mean, I still enjoy my job. I still like what I do a lot. You know, I get up and it's that old saying, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, there's certainly those points where you get down the road where, you know, and I went through a couple of periods where you get burned out and get tired of doing it and you start thinking, man, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life still. But then it's, you know, I'm at a point where I'm 42, I'm not learning anything new. I don't want to learn anything new. This is good. And I don't get burned out anymore. I'm past that. So, you know, at this point, it's almost autopilot. But I've been doing it long enough that I'm good at it, even on autopilot. I can just roll in here and do the work that I need to do. I don't have to put my heart and soul into every single minute of everything I'm doing anymore. And that takes a lot of the stress, a lot of the burden off of doing it. You know, whenever you have practiced your skill set and you've done whatever it is you're doing for so long that it becomes automatic, it takes a lot of the burden out of the work.
For obviously Mr. Moody's class, he has Mr. Moody. Wow, has a lot of artists, and you know, some of them may want to open a business doing something. You know, may not be doing tattoos, but you know, business is business, and you can get advice from anybody that owns a successful business. So, do you have any recommendations for any aspiring kids in this class that are going to be stepping out in the real world here any day and trying to put a business together? What's some advice?
My advice is to, you know, be sure you're good at what you do. You know, first thing first, be good at what you do. That's the hardest part, because if, you know, obviously if there's a lot of competition in whatever field you decide to go in, if you're sinking towards the bottom, or if you again want to just tell everybody how great you are whenever you're not producing, then that's not going to get you anywhere. But from there, I mean, it's just being disciplined to be at work, to be here on time, to be ready, to be friendly with your customers, you know.
If you have to fake all that, you're in trouble.
Right.
You're in deep trouble.
Yeah, you have to have the discipline to be where you're supposed to be on time, not an hour late, not 2 hours late, not freaking 45 minutes late. You know, you need to be there when you're supposed to be there. Be prepared and be friendly. You know, you can always outwork anybody, but you have to be friendly on top of it, because, you know, nobody wants... It doesn't matter if I did beautiful tattoos all day long. If I was an asshole to my customers, they're not coming back.
No. I don't know, you're an asshole to me and I come back.
Yeah, well, that's different. The rest of my customers don't think it's funny to make me do squats and lunges. I wish I was there.
I got video. I'll post. Next is video for the world. Kev, thanks, man. I think that's it. Appreciate your time.
No problem helping out Mr. Moody.
Yeah, Mr. Sean Moody, everyone. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. And once again, there was no pre-workout supplement taken for this interview, but there was tough actin and actin spray. All right, thanks.